Guys, do I have a deal for you today? Guess what? I'm going to tell you how to get a little bit more energy. If you ever found yourself a little bit sluggish, you're a little hard to wake up in the morning, you know what? Right at the end of the day, it just seems like you come home from work and then all you want to do is just grab a couple of Z's, or hey, maybe after that big old lunch right around 2 o'clock time, you just think that you need a little siesta, but your boss just won't go around with your proposal of a company-wide siesta. Well, I got some tips for you here today. Great way to kick off the weekend, shall we? And it's as simple as the same stuff that we talk about on the channel all the time. Looking at how much you sleep, what you're eating, and what you're drinking. Because I can guarantee everybody has little things that they can be doing to be a little bit more efficient with their day. Everyone has experienced what it's like to get tired now and then, but fatigue works a little differently. Fatigue is characterized as having a sense of excessive exhaustion, caused by either physical or psychological strain, or certain illnesses, such as not being able to manage stress, keeping everything inside, not properly articulating your problems, things such as that. You can think of fatigue as being tired on steroids. Wow. It's like fatigue, man, but from hell. I hate those little add-ons. They're just so hacked. Whether this is due to such things as eating too much processed food, overworking yourself, not getting enough sleep, having a bad relationship, or becoming ill. You guys ever find yourself in any of those situations? What about those peanuts on the plane? Yeah, I know. Kind of a hack routine so far. Anything that puts undue stress on your system can lead to falling into a fatigued state. An important aspect to be mindful of exactly what your energy levels fluctuate. While being tired at the end of a long workday can be expected, it shouldn't be anticipated though. When difficult circumstances emerge, a feeling of persistent exhaustion may wash over you. While it is always good to get a good night's sleep, going to bed earlier or taking a warm bath might not necessarily cure fatigue. Yes, it could be a lot more structural than just needing to relax. Fatigue can follow us like a dark cloud that perpetually drains our energy reserves. It can be just as severely when we wake up in the morning as when we hit the sack later in the same night. Therefore, it is wise to monitor your body's energy levels on a regular basis and take remedial action when something feels off. If you find that typically you become tired, even though you recover relatively quickly when performing your day-to-day activities, considering following the guidelines to boost your overall energy levels before you fall into the dreaded fatigue zone. It's like the Twilight Zone's really dorky cousin. In these busy modern times, no wonder that overwork can cause tiredness and fatigue. It's telling you to ease up. Stop making mountains out of molehills. If it's something that you can't control, if it's something that doesn't directly affect you, don't worry about it. Worrying doesn't solve anything. If you can take responsibility for it, at least you have a path of action towards fixing it. Therefore, you can do something about it. But just worrying about something, holding resentment for somebody else, I believe it is Nelson Mandela, who said the quote that harboring resentment is like taking poison and hoping that your enemy perishes. Paraphrasing, of course. So it's just foolish. It's just foolish because greed, envy, jealousy, they're part of a certain collective of biblical ideas that, you know what, I think they should be classified as something because they're awfully very pernicious to a healthy lifestyle. With that in mind, considering paring back your schedule, list of daily and weekly activities. Yeah, really, like I said before, just sit down. If you think that you're overwhelmed, if you're overworked, if you're overstressed with a bunch of stuff that you have to do in a day and you think that you don't have any time to either exercise, focus on yourself, do a little bit of self-reflection, start to really look at everything that you're doing on a daily basis and realize that a lot of that is just fluff and it's unnecessary. It's not leading to anything in the future that's going to help you out, or it's nothing that will immediately make your life better. You can cut that out. You can just cut that out. Stop worrying about it. Stop thinking about it because it doesn't directly affect you, anyone that you love, or anything that you can do something about. Eat better energy. Yeah, buddy. The glycemic index, or GI, is a rating that indicates how fast or slow foods cause your blood sugar to rise or lower. While foods that are high in glycemic indexes release glucose into your bloodstream. Here's where we're getting into physiology. This is awesome. Ones that are lower on the scale seem to be more steady and modulate rate. Yes. That's why breakfasts always are recommended to include slow, complex carbohydrates, because oatmeal, And grains of that family, they're normally associated with breakfast foods because they do have a lower GI index rating. Whereas simple carbohydrates, the fructose-laden fruits, are much higher on the glycemic index, give you a sugar rush, colloquially referred to as, or just spike your glucose, and excessive amounts of doing that, well, kind of leads you down a diabetic path. So don't, hey, if you need a little bit of energy, don't abuse it too often. Just work on yourself and get more energy that way. Therefore, eating foods with a low glycemic index can help mitigate the sugar high and crash scenario that typically happens when you eat refined starches such as sugary cereals, pretzels, and many refined flour-based products. Foods lower on the glycemic index include healthy oils, yes, which are things that elicit a very, very small insulin response. High-fiber vegetables, again the same thing, and nuts, yes. Carbohydrates, leave them out if you're worried about spiking glucose, because that's what will be elicited in order to store, or rather that's the insulin response that will be used to store the energy in your body. And once you break a fast, breakfast, you do that first thing in the morning with stuff that is easily processable into your bloodstream, you just set yourself up for failure first thing in the morning. Water yourself. Yes. If you smell, take a shower. Next topic. Oh, no, I'm sorry. We've all seen flashy commercials featuring the overpriced sports drinks that in the garishly colored bottles in stores. Yes, don't buy them. Yup, because they'll tell you that they have zero calories or anything like that. Yeah, but then you just take a look at the nutrition list on the back and it has more words with more vowels than an Italian family reunion. And realistically, you're just putting a fizzy poison into your body, which you can have happen at the aforementioned family reunion if you act out of line. Best forms of hydration is good old-fashioned water. Yes, to a certain extent, you don't want to become hypo or hypernatremic. You don't want to have an excess or a deficiency in water, obviously, but you also want to regulate your electrolyte balances. You want to make sure that you have enough potassium and sodium. Sodium, yes, is a good thing, but it needs to be healthy, nutritionally dense forms of salt, which you acquire your sodium through, which is full and processed food. That's why it can stay on the shelf for as long as it can, along with many other chemical preservatives with very, very long, very, very difficult to pronounce names, of course. But you need sodium, you need potassium, you need magnesium. You need all of those to be properly regulated in your body. And I can't tell you how many times, if that stuff goes a little bit whack in your body, you'll find yourself having cramps. You'll find yourself having just a sluggish demeanor because, hey, you know what? I'm drinking so much water. I'll show you my water bottle because, hey, you know what? I supplement my electrolytes all the time. But, hey, I drink one or two of these a day. And I sometimes, I'd have to go to the little boys' room a lot more than I'd care to admit. But we're quite a water-based creature. So water is important. Our bodies have astounding health potentialities when we don't sabotage them with toxic chemicals. Drinking purified water not only improves your circulation and helps you flush all the toxins out of your body, but it also is great for boosting your body's natural energy reserves while preventing fatigue. Yes, because your body doesn't have to break down fat molecules and it doesn't have to go into different stores for different other vitamins and nutrients that are in your body as well in order to create water and break down the carbon chains that are in your body, because your body will do that. It's pretty smart and it's pretty easily accessible. That's why you can survive without intaking any water for a few days, because your body has the processes and it has the different systems in order to do that. I wouldn't recommend a long waterless fast, of course, but there are people out there that push it to a complete dry fast for 24 hours, and there's apparently quite a few remarkable benefits to that. We'll have to talk about fasting in the future at some point. Big fan of it. Your body uses water to bolster your liver, allowing it to better convert fat into energy. Yes, your liver is a magical thing. That's why people who become dehydrated become lethargic and can run out of energy rather quickly. Also a reason why, if you overburden your liver, I don't know how you do that, but let's just say you do, and then all of a sudden you wake up in the morning and you feel exceptionally lethargic, almost like you may or may not have enjoyed your party a little bit too much. You might have only got a few hours of sleep, but that driving headache is, yes, from sleep deprivation, but as well from dehydration, because your liver was being taxed just a little bit too much by excessive forces. I think you know where I'm going. And then finally, sleep is crucial to regenerating your energy reserves, and it's typically undervalued. That's why I talk about it so often, because it is incredibly important. Whether staying up late, watching television, dabbling online, or working long hours, many folks waste hours that could be spent on a night of restful sleep, but not too much, because we've seen the effects of too much sleep, and you guys probably know if you've ever slept and you're normally accustomed to having 7-8 hours of sleep, and for whatever reason you seem to acquire 10 or 12 hours of sleep and you wake up exceptionally groggy. There's reasons behind that. So setting your body up for a good night's sleep is as important as getting that good night's sleep. According to the National Library of Medicine study, the National Library of Medicine, a study has concluded a lack of sleep can result in feeling irritable and, yes, fatigued. If you're tired, you get irritable and fatigued. Man, I'm glad they studied that and never would have figured it out. If you experience this often, you should consider whether or not you're clocking enough hours of sleep. The National Sleep Foundation recommends a sliding scale based on age, but typically 7+ hours for adults. Go through full circadian rhythms, which tend to last 90 minutes at a time of deep sleep, REM sleep, and light sleeping. 90 minutes. That's why 6 hours is about the bare minimum you can get by on a consistent, regular basis. And 7.5. 9, you're pushing it, but at least you get through those full cycles. Resistance training, yeah buddy. Whether lifting weights, using resistance bands, or any other resistance exercises out there, or just body weight exercises. Okay, everybody always leaves that stuff off, but there's nothing wrong with just doing calisthenics and plyometrics if you're well versed enough in those. This is one of the best ways that people can increase their energy levels. This is especially important for older folks, since resistance training is crucial to building up and maintaining muscle mass and retaining strength. Exercise in general is a great way to keep energy levels up. Yeah, buddy. So, get your sleep, do your training, say your prayers, and eat your vitamins, brother. What a fun way to kick off the weekend. But I know we just kind of went through the outlines on that, and I just threw in my own flair. So if you'd like to read a little bit more closely with the article, it will be linked in the description as always. Here's a wonderful start. Here's a wonderful way to kick off your weekend. We'll catch you back on Monday. Otherwise, if you miss this lovely smiling face, I'll still be over on my main channel if you want to hear about the descent into madness that we were all experiencing right now. This is just a nice little respite out there. Do enjoy your weekend. I thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo and want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.